my Dallas make it hurt.
It is Major Point, and we're back. We're back again. I'm Tasha J.
And I'm Brittany M. And we are
Major Point. Did y'all miss us?
I know I did. Well, that's it.
I know they did. They definitely missed us.
We're so excited to be here.
Yeah.
First episode of a new season, which is also always very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Tasha, how you been? Tell the people. I mean, because I know, so.
I feel like I've been existing. That's really the perfect word to describe how I'm doing. I've been existing. I don't know. I feel like from the last time you guys have probably seen me or whatever, I don't know. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I really just don't give a fuck. Like, I don't really care. Like, I was telling my sister, I was like, I just feel like at this time in my life, I'm choosing violence. But I mean true violence, not like, you know, people be like, I'm choosing violence, and they mean like, oh, I'm gonna like
suck dick.
Yeah, I'm gonna suck dick, or I'm gonna fuck that dude over there. I'm talking about real violence. Like, I'd be ready to.
Like you want to hurt somebody?
Yeah, I'll be ready to bust people up in the face. You should see
Tasha,
me
let me tell
on
you,
the train.
Don't catch no case
You
on this
should
podcast,
see
okay?
me on the train. I be ready. I be like, I literally told this lady on the train, I was like, you want to fight? Cause she was rude to me, so I'm like, you want to fight? Like, I was ready. I didn't look. I'm in that time. I'm in that zone.
Tasha, maybe you need to take like some kickboxing classes. You know, Soul Cycle. Get the aggression out, because
I don't need to do nothing. All I need y'all to do is
pray for her.
Not even that. Just leave me alone.
You don't want prayer?
No, I don't want none of that. I want everybody to leave me alone.
Pray
That's
for me,
how
y'all.
I feel.
I could always go.
That's
with
how I feel with it all. And also, like, for me, like, I think that me going through a lot, people kind of want me to like think positively, but I'm not point in my life where I don't care for positive words. I don't really care for that type of, you know, like for prayers, for like, you know, oh, let me give you some notes, or let me like, you know, say something positive to you, or like inspirational quotes. I don't care for none of that shit. I'm just like at the point where I'm just like, I'm out for myself. I'm choosing violence. Talk to me nice, or you will get drop kicked.
Or else.
That's where I am at. But I'm excited about Major Point. And
I mean,
I'm also excited.
A good job. I mean, a new job that you absolutely like.
I
So that's
did.
excellent. Cheers for Tasha.
Yay! I will say this, like, with my new job, like, it is my happy place. It is. Like, I do like being there. I do like going to work. I don't know about me going to work every single day. Do I like it? No. I wish I could stay home at least a day or two. But I do love what I do, and I'm just like flourishing there. Shouldn't
that have stopped by now, or you're still in training? You should have been done training by now, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, our probation period is done next week.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know. I would have to like speak on more to like my team about like, can I stay home like on Fridays? Because I really don't need to be here.
Does some of your coworkers come in sporadically, or they're all there as well?
My coworkers from my department, we come in every day.
So, girl, you might have to
I'm part of two departments. Another department, they kind of come in and out. Yeah. You know, like they work from home some days. Other departments, they work like, they come to work like 2 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week. Just one of the departments that I'm a part of, we come in every single day. And I'm just like, enough. Enough. Like, can I just get like Fridays where I just work from home, you know? But I do like, it's exciting.
Yeah. Overall experience is good.
Overall. How have you been?
I've been chilling. You know, I ain't got much to say. Life is actually, I'm talking about I've been chilling. Like, I ain't have a whole experience in January.
Yeah.
I've been okay, but life has been lifing, you know? Like, I lost someone very important to me, and that was extremely difficult to deal with. Eventually, I'm going to tell y'all the real tea and the real business, and we'll get into it, but not today. And outside of that, I mean, work is good. I'm starting some new things for myself, which is exciting and very scary, but other than that, very exciting. And yeah, my partnership. And you know what was funny, Tasha?
Mhm.
Because I was thinking, I was like, I be calling him my partner or like my person, and I'm like, I'm out here sounding like a lesbian.
She a lesbian. They lesbian together.
They probably like, yeah, she's dating a woman. Because it's like, why can't I just say my man
we
my
live
boyfriend?
in a modern world where people
like,
shouldn't think that.
But they're
per se.
probably
But
going
they probably
to.
are.
And I'm like, I need to stop doing that. Like, he is a man, and yeah, but I don't know. I feel like the
I
title.
call that your man.
I feel like the title boyfriend is a bit like when you
Juvenile?
know, like to me, like when you know what the vibe is and you know what it is, I feel like it goes beyond the title of.
You can
of
say that's my
boyfriend.
love.
That's my nigga.
Wow. Okay.
But anyway,
that's my
that's
nigga.
going well, and I'm very happy about that.
That's
and
good.
you know, my dog is flourishing. Bella's flourishing.
I haven't seen Bella.
Other
in a
than that,
while.
I feel like things are good. Like life is lifing, and things has happened, and a lot of things has happened to the both of us. But I feel like through all of that, I feel like we're just really grateful to like be here and be able to do this and be able to just kind of keep going every day to better things. But other than that, yeah, we chilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to keep going in this ghetto life on this ghetto earth.
The ghetto. The ghetto. The ghetto.
But we have a special show for you guys today.
I feel like that's such a turn.
Child, you
It
know
did.
I don't care about this
Yeah,
earth.
it did.
Yes. So we have a special episode for you guys today.
Mm-hmm.
A special topic. So I know last time we did have an episode, which is on YouTube, where we talked about Caribbean parenting, and it was a very popular subject. Like people had like a lot of great comments, and like I remember I had posted it, and I guess I followed like one of like the like a Haitian Instagram page, and they were like, oh my God, like, and they were commenting and stuff like that. And it was really cool. Like we was talking about it because people really resonated with it in the, you know, Caribbean communities. And so we wanted to kind of further that conversation with, you know, because I was thinking one time like about, you know, the immigrant experience in this country, and like, you know, we, you know, personally, like we all come from immigrant parents. Like we do, like most of us. Most of this country, people in this country have immigrant parents. But also the challenges that they face not only in this country, but also raising a family in this country. It's really hard, you know, having to come to a new country, learn a new language.
Start all over. Leave everything that you
again.
know.
Yeah.
No family.
But also like have to be like your family back at home's caregiver, like, you know, sending money back home, but also creating a family, a foundation for yourself, and what it's like to raise a child.
And also kind of the idea of like what happens to the children of these parents once they get here, right? Do they get put into them the things that they need and the things that they require? And if they aren't being poured into the way that it should be, why? Right? Like what are some of those reasons as to why some Caribbean parents don't pour into their children the way that they should, and that these children deserve? And kind of honestly, Tasha, I think the question overall is kind of how do we close that gap in the lack of understanding between the parents and the children, right?
Yeah.
Mind you, let me just read what I had in my notes, because I had the question very much, very eloquently written.
Do immigrant parents invest in their kids?
No. The question that I think we should, that's a topic.
Yeah.
But a question that I think is very important is what needs to be understood for both parents and children to have a better understanding of each other's circumstances.
Yeah,
right?
experiences.
What is it like being an immigrant parent, but also what is it like being the child of an immigrant parent?
Yeah.
Or like myself, not only being the child of immigrant parents, but being an immigrant myself.
Yeah, because
Right?
you came here
With them.
With them. Exactly. And what that experience is like.
Exactly.
I feel like it's also, and I understand it's different for everybody. You do have immigrant parents who do invest in their children, and, you know, they understand, you know, what that is, and they have closed the gaps for themselves. But I still feel like there's just generations and just so many people who have not. have that experience.
Yeah.
And like, I think in this episode, you're going to be speaking more for the parent.
Yeah, I'm gonna be speaking on the point of view of the parent.
And
I ain't one. I mean, I got a dog, but you know, I ain't no parent, no child.
Oh my God, when you think about it, you are an immigrant parent to Bella.
Oh, I'm like,
wait,
when did I have a baby?
Is Bella from here? Like, is Bella?
No, Bella's breed is she white.
She okay. Not that she's white.
She's European.
Okay, she's European.
I
can't with you.
And she literally is like gray white.
Yeah, she's cute
with the beautiful eye. Oh, Bella has gorgeous eyes. Really pretty eyes. No, Bella white.
I'm dead.
She black in culture, but she white in race.
She's yeah.
Like, she is.
I mean, it's true. It's true, definitely.
And she's bilingual.
And she is, because she understands Spanish
and English.
And I'll be speaking in perspective of the child, because in my own experience, I was definitely born to two parents that came from Haiti, came here in the 80s, and raised 5 girls. 5. I would say my mom more raised us than my father, but yeah.
Girl, that's a topic for another day.
But that's a topic for another day.
That's a fact.
But yeah, so we'll be speaking on that. So I mean, I feel, do you want me to start? Like, what do you want?
Actually, I want to start with some statistics.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, if this is wrong, talk to the census, because this is where I got it from. So it says that while the majority of children under 18 in the United States lived with native-born parents in 2019, so that's 69.7%. Over a quarter, meaning 26.3%, live with at least one foreign-born parent, according to the U.S. Census Bureau report. Another thing that I definitely wanted to point out, too, is that those with at least one foreign-born parent, right? So that means at least one parent is not from here, right?
Okay.
For example, were more likely than children with native-born parents to live below the poverty line. So 19.9% compared to the 14.1%. So I'm gonna read that again, because that sounded a little confusing. So those with at least one foreign-born parent, for example, were more likely than children with native-born parents to live below the poverty line. So basically, children of parents that have at least one foreign-born parent are more likely to live below the poverty line, as opposed to a child that has two parents that were born here.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And they also have no health insurance coverage. They were also more likely to live in rented homes, so just under 48.6% compared to the 33.1% of children with native-born parents. So I don't know if you want me to start after the statistics but I guess what the statistics are saying in general is that children in a house with at least one foreign-born parent tend to have things a bit worse off than children that have two parents that were born within the same country. So if it's like that and you only have one foreign-born, now imagine the statistics when you add 2 foreign-born parents, right? So go ahead, take the floor.
And I feel like it's also different, because I just want to let people know, you may have 2 parents at home, but there could be just one parent that's really parenting while the other one is not. Because I think, although that's another, that's involved. Although that's another topic for another day, but that is important. And I realized something in immigrant families or in cultural families as well, that sometimes there is a parent that is more of, doing like nurturing, disciplining, paying for things, putting their kids in like activities, like, just doing all of the bulk of the parental work while the other one really is not. So we can think about that. But I'll continue. I feel like the reason why
she had to take a deep ass breath.
Yeah, because the reason why this topic is so like,
is it near and dear to your heart?
It's like personal for me, is because like I really do wish that my own parents kind of like invested more in me. And it's not necessarily because like I understand their circumstances. They came here, didn't have a lot. Like, money is everything. Yep. We live in a capitalist country. Money is everything.
I was going to say money is gold. Money literally is gold.
Yeah. It's like money is so important. And when you don't have it, there's just not much resources. Like my parents came from Haiti. And I think there's like this outlook of the US where it's like the US have all these resources. But what people who come into this country don't realize is that like only certain people can get certain type of resources. So if you have a lot of money, you can get a lot of resources. If you don't have a lot of money, you asked out.
You know why? Because money equals options.
Exactly.
And opportunity.
And opportunities, right? So the thing is that like I understand like on a whole nother level, my parents didn't have a lot. They couldn't invest in me a lot. I get that. But then there's another side to it.
Explain a little bit more what you mean by invest.
Oh,
like, what do you
course.
mean by investing in me?
So like
For the people out there.
For example, I will have many examples. For one, I can give you the easiest one. Growing up, you know, if you're a child of immigrant parents, and specifically for me being a Haitian parent, the number one thing that's big is education. Getting good grades in school so that you can get a scholarship for college because they don't want to pay for college, okay? They want you to
Well, sometimes they can't. You know,
well, that's why.
Yeah,
that's why they can't.
You out here like immigrant parents, they don't want to pay for that shit. No, sometimes like, well, some don't. Some don't.
They don't want to pay for it because they don't have it.
And college is expensive.
It's very expensive. So they want you to have this full scholarship to a really good school so that you could be able to major in something great. Usually is like doctor, medicine, engineer, lawyer, you know.
And that's
now it's computer science. Now they're like, go to
or engineering.
You know? Yeah, I said engineering.
You did?
Yeah. Engineering has always been like a
talking about I don't even want the headphones, and even with the headphones I can't hear you.
So it's like, you know, they want you to do that so that you can have a good job and that you can take care of yourself because they don't want to see you struggle the way they struggled. But they also want you to take care of them too. So
yeah, that's true.
They do. Because they feel like I put you in this world, you better give me something back.
Or not even so much that.
But like
I can only speak about this from two perspectives, right? One is my own personal experience, but another one is my boyfriend's, right? So my boyfriend's parents are also Haitian. And I've seen, and I actually even was told myself that like, they expect something back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I brought you here, I gave you all of this, but at the end of the day, when it's all done, you're supposed to take care of me. Yeah, and that's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. That's a cultural thing with Haitian people, but not just Haitian people. You could say the same for, you know, Asian people too. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing, kind of like you're supposed to be able to take care of the family. Same thing with African families as well. Yeah. Like you're supposed to be able to take care of your family members.
Especially your parents.
Your parents, even your grandparents, you know, like things like that. So it is a lot of pressure. And I felt that as well, especially for me, having to get straight A's. And the thing is that, like, it's not easy to get straight A's, especially when your parents have a language barrier and they can't help you with your homework. They can't help you with your homework. They can't help you with your projects. Yeah. But you're expected to have straight A's so that you can get that scholarship to college. But when you're struggling, you know, and you're like, damn, maybe I need to go to Kumon, which is like a math and science, like tutoring center. Or, you know, that type of thing.
I know what you was talking about. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, Kumon.
I know what you're talking about.
But Kumon also costs money.
A lot of it.
And it's like, couldn't pay for Kumon. So it's like,
or a private tutor's out too, because that's expensive as well.
That's expensive. Or sometimes schools had tutors, like they had like those type of options. But sometimes parents are like, can't pay for that either because I'm paying tuition for you, so can't afford that.
You know, one thing that literally just popped into my head too, immigrant parents also love putting their kids in like private schools. Like there's no money, but you want them in a Catholic one and a private one.
I feel like when they're Caribbean or some form of Latinx as well, like it's a cultural thing. Like Catholicism is huge in the Caribbean and Latin America. And
but also, we don't need to go to a Catholic school. We could pray at home.
That's 100% true.
And praying at home is what? Cheap. I mean, it's free.
Yeah, it's
I was gonna say
true.
cheap. Actually, it's kind of cheap. Not free because you gotta pay for rent.
I'm dead.
So it's cheap.
Which it's true, but it's also like in their country, like in my mom's country, the kids who were well off went to Catholic school.
I mean,
or they ended up going to like a good high school, a good college. They went to Catholic school. Like that was considered a good education in their country. So they come to this country, to the US, with the same mindset. Like I gotta put my kid in Catholic school. Because plus they have the cultural aspect of it, like the religious side. Like I was brought up Catholic. Now my child's gonna be brought up Catholic. And also at the same time, it's like, okay, well, they're also going to be successful because, you know, it's Catholic school and I get to put my kid in
I've been in
whatever.
I was in Catholic school my whole
there's
life.
really good public school. But honestly, remember when we were growing up, public schools did not have a good name. In New York City, no, they did not.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my older sisters went to public schools and I'm talking about fights, you know, gangs.
Pregnancies.
It was pregnancies, drugs.
Yeah.
Some public schools had metal detectors. Like, who wanted that? My mom was like, I ain't putting my child in this.
Fair.
You know, and it was tough. So, you know, it is what it is. But that pressure, back to your question, like for me, the investment was like I wanted to be able to go to like the best like SAT prep schools. I actually in college, my professor, shout out to Professor Baran.
Shout out, girl. Hey, girl.
He's a boy.
Oh,
the man. Hey girl, you just assumed.
Hey, girl.
Assumed it was
I
a
meant
girl.
girl. I wasn't calling you no girl. I meant girl. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to him. Best math professor, best math teacher I've ever had in my life. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're not good at math, he will make you good at math.
I am a believer that it's not that you're stupid or you're not smart. I do believe that the reason that math is not everyone's cup of tea is because we're not taught it correctly.
Yes, I feel like people who are geniuses in math sometimes can't teach it very well.
Yeah.
It takes
because I realize that there's no way that I could be good at all these other things, but math is I can't get it.
Because let me tell you something. The thing is that I'm actually a little bit above average when it comes to math.
That's beautiful.
But there's two things
gotta be.
When it comes to math, I'm like, nah, I can't do it. Statistics, so probability. I don't know what it is about probability, but it's a different language for me. I'm like, I don't get it.
Don't talk to me about statistics. I had to take that class twice in college.
I know that. You did.
I gotta see the first time, and I was like, "Thank you, Jesus, and all the ancestors," because that's all I wanted. I just wanted to pass. But then I couldn't get into grad school with the C. I had to get a B and above. So then I took it again, and I had a teacher that I went from a C to a B plus, and I didn't get an A. Because, you know, me and lateness, we got a relationship.
Yeah.
I was late to that lady class all the time, so she took a whole bunch of points off. And that's why I ended up with the B. But the difference in how she taught it and then the professor that I had before taught it that made all the difference.
Exactly.
All the difference.
So for me...
Do I remember anything that I did in statistics? Absolutely not.
I don't know how I passed statistics. I don't...
Oh, and mine was statistics in psychological statistics. Mine wasn't even straightforward statistics.
Mine was business statistics, but it doesn't matter what type of statistics it is. If it has to do with probability, don't understand it. Don't get it.
And mind you, they teach you all that shit to then be able to pay somebody to do it for you. Like,
child, I don't. Anyway,
so
for me, it was probability, and it was also like geometry. I don't know. Every time I saw shapes, I'm like,
with the shapes.
Nope, it ain't for me. And so those are the two things. But I feel like he just like, I'm telling you, if you don't understand something,
he made it make sense.
He made it make sense. Yeah. But he had a SAT prep, right? This is back when I was in college, right? So I didn't need SAT prep, huh?
How did you do in your SATs?
I don't remember the scores I got.
Did you break 1,000?
I did break 1,000.
Bitch, I ain't even break 1,000.
Damn. I did break 1,000.
My SAT grades were basura.
I remember I did break 1,000, but I just don't remember.
No, it's not. Usually you are right if you break 1,000. It's if you don't break 1,000. And by the way, what I mean by break 1,000 is between math and reading. Not like the whole 3 things I didn't break 1,000. Yes, I did.
Okay.
But between math and reading, I didn't break 1,000. I think I got like an 800 or like a 900.
I mean, honestly, that's not bad.
But my writing though, that don't count. But my writing though,
I mean,
another thing altogether.
SATs, the whole examination, like
it's
shit.
Bullshit.
It's all bullshit. So that's another topic for another day.
Yep.
But he had a great SAT prep because he was an amazing math teacher, and I was like, yo, if I had him for SAT prep, I would have been
set. To pay for the SAT prep?
Oh, he is expensive, honey. He can. I'm telling you, this man can literally make someone who don't know what 2 + 2 is and be a genius in math and algebra. I'm telling you, he was an amazing,
I love that for you.
Amazing. And
I
I'm
love that for
like,
you.
oh my God. And he was expensive for his SAT
How
prep.
expensive is we talking?
Like,
Because this was a few years ago.
like imagine like $10,000 type of thing.
Girl, you is wildin'. Deacon for SAT prep. He wildin'.
But
per student?
But guess what?
Per student?
What do you mean per student?
Like
yeah.
per student?
It was a private session. Like, yes, honey.
Oh, it was private session.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of money, but okay.
It's a lot of money, but honey, if you're rich,
who's rich? Oh,
if you have money,
okay,
your parents are going to invest in
more
that.
than that.
They're going to put you in that SAT prep because they're like, oh, you're going to get, not only that you're going to Harvard or some type of the Ivy League schools, any of them. You're going to also get a full scholarship too. Even
although we can afford it.
Even though you can afford it, you're still going to get it. You're going to get in, basically. I didn't have the resources to have someone as amazing as this man to teach me, you know, in the best ways SAT prep. We had SAT prep at St. Joseph High School. Granted, I loved my high school, but the SAT prep there wasn't all that. You know what I'm saying?
Bishop Ford didn't even
and it was
offer.
free.
Bishop Ford didn't even offer.
Oh, no.
Hold on. My Bishop Ford alum, please don't come at me because I don't remember. Maybe they did and I didn't know about it, but I don't recall Bishop Ford having any SAT prep because the only SAT prep I did was with my friends and I did it twice and that was it.
Brittany.
Girl, I went into the ACTs blind as a fucking bat to the point that I did worse the second time around.
Brittany, what do you mean on SAT? They didn't offer something for free? Like
Tasha, I do not remember any SAT prep. But again, it could just
the amount of money that people had to pay Bishop Ford for
Bishop
tuition.
Ford was expensive.
They didn't have SAT prep, at least a free one.
Tasha, I don't know. Maybe they did. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they did, and I did not know about it.
Because the English teacher at least could teach y'all some Latin root words, so y'all can get through the English part.
Like I did good in English. Remember, I did good in the English. No, it was reading. It was maths.
It was math. I guess it was called
writing?
English. You could say English or reading comprehension.
What was it? Math, English, and
it was reading comprehension.
What the fuck is on the SATs these days?
It's math and reading comprehension.
But then there was one more thing. Was it writing? So math, reading comprehension, and
it was writing. It was like a writing portion of it. That was like 30
It was the math,
something.
baby. That math, I bombed it.
Oh my God, do you remember the stories that you had to read? There was always one about a bird. It was always like a humming, some type of exotic bird.
Tasha.
And I'm like, we don't care.
Tasha, we need to get back. Let's get back on the point.
Let's
get back on the point.
But my point is that that's an example of something that my parents couldn't really invest in me for. It's not because they didn't want to, it's really because they didn't have it. But it kind of I don't want to say it kind of messed up. It kind of did because I feel like
you in
it limited me. It limited me. Limited.
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 It limited.
Not me trying to help you, but the people probably thinking this is why she didn't do good in the SATs.
Limited. It limited me, unfortunately. And of course, our parents didn't want it to, but they're like, well, you could just study on your own. And it's like, honey, I'm not a genius. I can't study on my own.
Maybe if you had the SAT class,
I used to
you
go
could
to
be one.
You know what I'm saying? I used to go on YouTube,
I didn't
try
even
to
do that. Damn, maybe
I used to work so hard to try to like break 1,000.
But you did.
But I did.
You did.
I guess.
That's beautiful, girl, because some people didn't do that.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was tough. And I understand coming from the child of immigrant parent, I understand. But also at the same time, Brittany, certain things make me think of like situations of people who their parents did invest in them. Even if they had nothing, they gave
they gave all
the last to make sure that their kid. Sometimes I just wish like my parents would just like have seen like, you know what? I don't have a lot, but I'm gonna put it all in her. Cause like she gon' we all gonna come out of the hood. We all gonna come out of this.
I just need one to hit.
Just one to hit. It just makes me think of like Beyonce's parents. Granted, Beyonce's parents are not immigrants, but it makes me think of like them and how they invested so much in Beyonce and Solange.
Like they literally had jobs to fund their kids.
Yeah. They were like,
Yeah.
oh, their kids were like, oh, we want to be superstars. Oh, okay,
Okay.
we're going to put everything in you.
Everything in you.
And although they're not immigrant parents, there are immigrant parents who's done the
Who do
exact
the
same
same.
thing, and their kids
I
have
think
become
about
successful.
Like Asian parents. I think Asian parents put everything
Yes,
in their kids.
Asian parents, they could be poor,
But you
okay?
gonna be at a good school,
But
and you gonna get what you need to
they're
get. I know
gonna
that's
pour
a fact.
into it. But also, there's also some Asian, there's some Asian kids who would say that their immigrant parents are similar situation with mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of were left to fend for themselves a little bit, and then the pressure of like, well, you better get an A.
Yeah.
You want me to get an A so bad, but I need tutoring and geometry and probability because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, well, figure it out. And it's like, I can't
And then
figure it
sometimes they
out.
get angry when you can't figure it out, or when you fail, or when you have to do summer school, all of middle school.
You know? So, I mean, for me, that was really like my thing when it came to like this situation. Like, and I think that's why it's so dear to my heart, because it's just like, I wanted to be invested more because
Like,
I felt like I was worth it.
What could you have been if there was more invested into you?
Honestly, I could have, let me tell you, I could have been probably did like Yale School of Drama.
Yeah.
I would have also been a pianist because
I love that.
I was dedicated to wanting to become a pianist. Like, I wanted to play the piano so bad, and I feel like I would have done great.
Honestly, I also
do
do think you would probably right now be on the big screen.
I would be.
Yeah.
I would be.
You'd be out there with the Zendaya and them.
Exactly. I would be the actress that could also play the piano. I would have been a lot, but yeah.
Me? And this is one thing. I'm very empathetic when it comes to immigrant parents and kind of what they had to go through in regards to pouring into their children, because personally, speaking on my mom's behalf, my mom gave me everything she possibly could.
Yeah.
My mother put me in all the activities that she possibly could. My mother many a times went without herself to give me. So I have that experience that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the problem is that my mother could only do so much with how much she made.
Exactly.
Right? Like, my mother could only do so much. If we bring my father into the equation, then I feel like that's where it got a little wonky. Because I felt like my father made more money and he could have poured more into me financially. He just didn't. Because the dynamics of my home, especially when my mom started working, because when we first got here, my mother did not work. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, so we had to depend on what my father gave us, right? So we couldn't argue with that. But the moment that my mother started working, and shout out to my uncle, her older brother, because he was the one that, girl, what you doing here sitting down not doing nothing? Get up and work. And he helped her get the job that she's been at for almost 20 years now. So shout out to my uncle, Ricardo. It's so funny I have an uncle named Ricardo. That's so funny. Anyway.
Ricardo.
So once she started working, then the rules became that everything in the house was my dad's responsibility financially, and everything with me was my mom's. So my dad didn't pour into me like that financially because he gave me the roof.
Yeah.
And he gave me all of these, the necessities. And my mother poured into, I'm talking about, if I wanted to do a trip, if I needed a phone, my mother paid for Bishop Ford the whole 4 years. That came out of my mom's pocket.
Yeah.
My dad did not pay a dime of my high school education.
Right.
But then, like every other parent, takes all the credit for how far I've come or how far, you get. So what I didn't have financially, my mother provided emotionally, right? I didn't get the tutoring. It wasn't a possibility. It wasn't there, right?
Tutoring was expensive.
It's very expensive. And when I think about what I could have been if I had all of those things, because one thing I know is that what we don't lack is the brains.
Yeah, we don't.
Because we're not stupid, right? And I wouldn't have gotten as far as I have currently if I wasn't functioning up there. And the same goes for you.
Yeah.
So I lost my train of thought. That's crazy. I lost my train of thought. So right, my empathy. So I'm gonna be speaking kind of on the perspective of the parents, because I do feel like sometimes their narrative kind of gets lost in this topic, because for some parents, some immigrant parents, just to travel here alone could be traumatic.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Thankfully, that wasn't my case. We came in a plane and, everything we did the proper way. But I also have friends who had to cross the border.
Yeah.
Right? Parents, like, sometimes we don't even know what these parents experienced just not only in transit, but even before they got here, right? So there's a lot of parents that are coming into this country that is extremely difficult with trauma, with a lot of heavy baggage, right? And then you come here, and then being here in itself is traumatic when you don't have anything or anyone.
Yep.
Right? So that's just, we ain't even start yet. That's the pre.
Yeah.
That's the epilogue. No, epilogue is after. It's the pre, whatever.
It's okay.
Whatever. Yeah, follow me here, camera.
The prologue.
The prologue. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
After that, we have to take into consideration some parents bring themselves and then have to work to then bring the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's money, and that's expensive, right? Migrating ain't cheap, okay? And it's not for the faint of heart, people. Then because of that, they have to work a lot.
Mm.
So not only can they not pour into their children time-wise, but they can. It's literally being able to spend time with your kids in this country, Tasha, is a luxury.
Yeah.
Because in order to make, and let's speak about New York, in order to make the bare minimum, you have to work your ass off.
Yeah.
And even that is not fucking enough, right?
Not.
So let's talk about time. Then with time comes money, right? Because if you're working, you're making the money, and even that's not enough. So I could want to pour into my child all I want, but if I financially cannot afford it, what can I do about that, right? Mm-hmm. And let's talk about like resources. Ain't that much out there.
There's not a lot of resources
it's
for
not.
immigrant parents.
Okay. After that, we go into a single parent household as opposed to a 2-parent household. I was blessed to have a 2-parent household, right? Where my mother could give me whatever luxuries I had, I was able to get it. But that's also because my father took care of everything else, right? So my mother did not have to worry about light or rent or none of that because my dad took care of it. So even just for that, I thank my father because I never had to worry about where I was going to lay my head.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to worry about if we was going to have food on our table or not.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I needed, the necessities I had. I never went without necessities, and for that, I will forever be grateful for my father. And not only single parent, but let's talk about like immigrant parents that don't have family here, Tasha.
Yeah,
like I'm one of them. I don't have family here.
Right.
Like it's funny because stupid story. I'll tell you about it later. But I was bored, and recently I started making my guest list for my wedding. When is this wedding gonna happen? I don't know. But I was making my guest list, and the bulk of my guests are in Panama. Hence why my wedding has to be
in Panama.
People in Panama.
Yeah.
Right? So no family.
That's just like my mom. My mom doesn't have family here.
And then some would say, many immigrants' parents, I believe, would say that they made the ultimate sacrifice by being here. Right? Mm-hmm. I poured into you by bringing you to a country that if you try, there's more of a possibility of you having a brighter future than at home. Tasha, some countries make it impossible for you to succeed.
Absolutely.
Make it impossible. So we could talk all the hot shit we want to talk about America, and we could call it ghetto, and we could call it all of this type of stuff. But there's a lot of more freedoms and opportunities here than in a lot of other countries. Panama, for example, and I'm not shit talking my country because I'm Panamanian to the bone. I went back recently because of my cousin's whole shabacle, and my two of my cousins, who I consider my cousins, we basically grew up together. Mm-hmm. They're both graduated with degrees. They have the titles. One literally is like, she creates the transplants, like go into the heart. Mm-hmm. Like she graduated into all that shit. Neither of them could get jobs. Neither of them can get jobs. My cousin told me that she literally, the people at the hospital are tired of seeing her face. Wow. Because she goes there to find applications. So it's not a matter of not being prepared. It's that sometimes the economy or the country within itself makes it impossible for you to move forward. However, and I told her, I'm like, yo, with that degree and what you do, if you came here, you'll be fucking knocking down the dollar.
Yeah.
Making mad fucking money. But over there, they can't. And she wanted to study abroad, but her mother didn't let her, fear, whatever it may be. But that's neither here nor there.
I mean, but the crazy thing about the opportunities here, like, even like Panama, even that, like, she's so educated and her not being able to find jobs, you can, this may sound hilarious, but here in this country, you can make it on YouTube.
Yes.
You could become a TikTok star.
You don't even need a degree. We got all these degrees for what?
You know what I mean? YouTube stars, the TikTok stars, like, told their immigrant parents, I'm letting go all this schooling so I can do TikTok full time.
And now they millionaires like assume.
And now they're millionaires.
Like assume. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put it in the air. Gotta put it in the air. Put it in the air, everybody.
It's in the air. But like, it's in it. But You know what I'm saying? So it's like, can you do that in these different countries? No.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
You cannot. Girl, the Wi-Fi be so off. The Wi-Fi be so bad.
You try to be a TikTok star in Cuba. Child, you got to pay $1. Because you remember you got to get the Wi-Fi card.
It might be against the law.
Oh,
TikTok might not even be allowed there.
Child, oh yeah.
But Cuba's so beautiful, you guys. But anyway,
Sorry
I was
to the
gonna make a
Cubans.
point about the online thing too. And even we could even talk about that. Some immigrant parents don't even think that's like good enough, right? But again, they believe that they made the ultimate sacrifice, kind of bringing you here. That's what they could do for you. Now it's on you to take this ultimate sacrifice and do with it the best that you can.
Yeah.
Right? They can't do everything.
No.
The parents cannot do everything. It is impossible to expect a parent that has limited resources and almost everything stacked against them to be able to do everything. And this is why I asked you the question at the beginning. Where do we find that meeting ground?
I think where we find the meeting ground is that parents need to, like you said, realize they can't do everything, but they can't also have these huge expectations.
Absolutely.
We have to be realistic here.
Absolutely.
If you came into this country, right, however you came here, and you're struggling, you cannot expect a child who, not everybody's going to birth geniuses. You're not going to birth the next Albert Einstein. Your child may need assistance. Your child may even need IEP assistance. You know, depending on whatever type of learning, your child may have a learning disability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's things that you kind of have to pour into.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, and you guys don't have that much resources. That's why you shouldn't have these super high expectations of you must have straight A's so that you can get a full scholarship to Harvard. Well, how about we start small?
Yeah.
Right? How about we start small? How about we start, well, maybe you can get into a 2-year college and then work your way to a 4-year college.
Just graduate.
Or just
and
graduate.
We'll take it from there.
And we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
It could be something we can take steps. Like there's not much resources, but there are different plans that on the way that you can do it. I'm not saying there are not like immigrant parents who the type of structuring that they give their kids actually makes their kids like really successful.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like where they really are.
But then again, we have to ask ourselves at what cost?
At what cost?
Right? Because, for example, in the Asian community, we ain't Asian, but from what we know, in the Asian community, they super strict on that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're hyper focused on one thing, a lot of things fall
exactly
out of whack.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what show I was watching. I don't know, it was Family Guy or one of those stupid ass shows. And it was a Asian dad that came in to talk to his son, and he goes, "Are you a doctor yet?" And he goes, "No, Dad, I'm just in middle school." He goes, "Talk to you when you a doctor."
Yeah,
you know, like, and again, jokingly, and that's not every Asian parent, right?
Not.
But again, Indian parents are as well. They're very big on education, but it's tough. Like. There has to be a balance for everything because nothing at extremes is ever good.
Exactly.
Too much water, you'll drown. Not enough, you'll dehydrate.
Exactly.
Too much sun, you'll get cancer. Not enough sun, you got a vitamin D deficiency.
Right.
And nothing at extremes is ever good. So with that being said, I feel like what will kind of help bridge this misunderstanding between us, the children of immigrant parents, and our parents is transparency.
Yeah.
I believe that if immigrant parents are more open about what they are experiencing instead of just saying, no, we can't do it, or no, you cannot have it, I think we would have more empathy towards what's going on with them.
Or just them telling us the story of how they got here. Let me tell you something. I had to first of all, I have a best friend, and we share the same best friend. And I would ask, she was like how she would ask her grandfather about his journey here in this country. And he was very closed-mouthed about it. He didn't really give her a lot of information.
It's very traumatic.
It's very traumatic, and they don't know how to process that, you know?
And they've never had.
This is also a different generation of people who don't understand therapy, don't understand transparency, don't understand, talking about your problems, and don't understand none of that.
Sure.
So they don't know. So sometimes they just don't know how to do it, and they just won't do it, which is unfortunate. But I do agree with you. Transparency is the number one thing. Help me understand what your experience was. Help me understand what your trauma was so I can have a better understanding.
And help me understand why I can't have that expensive SAT class.
Exactly.
Right? And also meet me halfway. Maybe I can't have the expensive SAT class, but we could do something else.
Exactly.
Right? It does not have to be all or nothing. It really does not. And part of the reason I'm so empathetic towards the parents is because my mother was extremely transparent. And she's been like that my whole life. Remember once upon a time I told you that like my mother and me were so open that every time I got my ass whooped, I knew why. I ain't never got my ass whooped and I ain't know why.
That's good.
I always knew why. Like my mother never does things and says, because I said so, or because I'm your mother. I always, if in an appropriate way, was always very aware of things. And I think that has to be key. Because yes, the parents can't do everything, but also the child can't carry everything on their own. That's a lot.
They really can't. It is so much to carry on your own. Like, there's immigrant parents that not only they have to like figure out the whole schooling thing, they have to do their own applications.
Yes.
They have to go to the college fairs on their own. They also have to fill out applications, everyday applications for their own parents, because sometimes their parents don't know how to speak English or read in English. So it's just like, that's me too.
That was my whole
That was my whole thing too.
Like,
but the thing, I realized something, what you said, there's similarities and differences. Like your mom did the same thing for you that my mom did for me, but she had to do it five times. Because like me and my sisters. So my mom really wanted to pour into each and every one. Like, I didn't get a bike because she couldn't afford to get all of us bikes.
That's
She's
fair.
like, none of y'all getting bikes. Sorry.
That's fair.
So to this day, don't know how to ride a bike. But it's like,
and I can't swim.
You know, I can't swim either.
Damn, Tasha, you 2 times bad.
I mean,
I could at least ride a bike.
I mean,
raise your hand if you can ride a bike.
Raise your hand if you broke 1,000 SATs.
You know what? You ain't shit. Ain't nobody asked for your opinion.
Shade. But
and raise your hand if you both are drowned.
Oh yeah, well, I was drowned. Child, I almost drowned at Donny Park. Remember?
Splish Splash.
Splish Splash. That's what's called.
Tasha almost drowned in like 3 feet of water.
Yes, I almost drowned 3 feet of water because I was like, "What is it?" Child, I be almost drowning in my own damn shower. But let's talk about something different, okay?
No, you're right, Tasha.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with that because just being,
because like it was a little bit easier only because you were the only child.
Yes,
for your mom.
Yes,
it's
easier for her, but
for
also
her.
It's so much harder for me.
Yes, because there's a lot of pressure.
Because all the pressure falls on me, and I want to make this very, very clear. I've been blessed to have 2 parents that, unlike my boyfriend's parents, who put a lot of pressure on him to take care of them, like once the old age hits, the way that old age is gonna hit all of us. My parents don't expect that out of me, not even my mother. My mother does not demand that I take care of her when that time comes. Although, you know me, I'm riding with my mama to the end.
I wonder if other Panamanians.
I can't speak for like everybody, but I do know.
I know that's a Haitian thing.
But also in Latin America, we're very big on taking care of our people, like of our parents. You know, like we don't believe in nursing homes and like you
just
roll,
like Indian people, just like East Asian
roll
people,
with them.
Just like African people.
Yeah,
like,
you roll with
the
them.
grandparents live in the house.
Yeah, you know, I feel like it's an American thing to drop them off in.
I think so too. I think it's an American thing too.
Is it an American thing?
I think
Y'all,
so.
let us know. Drop down in the comments and let us know, because I know, like you roll with your old people. Even if you don't like them, they can't stand you. They once tried to kill you. You roll with them niggas.
Yeah,
people.
But but it's interesting. It's an American thing, but immigrant people make up a lot of America. So it's like.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe we're gonna change that. We're changing that wave of like.
But I also do understand that sometimes it's in the best interest of everybody for them to be in a nursing home. You know, and again, a topic for another day, because if they need a service that I can't provide, you need to go there. Or if you too damn big, I'm not finna blow my back out for your ass.
Hey,
you need to go over there.
It's to blow my back out. It's
no pun intended.
It's to blow.
No, but literally, you could blow a disc. You know what I'm saying? Like you could blow a disc.
I mean, it could just be me and my
your
dirty
nasty brain.
mind.
No, I really do think that we really need to get to a point of understanding and kind of giving a little bit each way. Yeah. Right? Like I said, all the responsibility does fall on me. Right? I need to be something because I'm all my mom got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like once my dad stepped away and started his new life.
Yeah.
It was just me and her.
Yeah.
It was just me and her, right? Like,
we could talk about what immigrant women
go through. That's another topic
through.
for another day as well. So,
okay.
And this is pressure that I put on myself because she doesn't put it on me, but I put it on myself.
Oh, this is all your fault then.
Yeah. My mother made the ultimate sacrifice following my dad here and bringing me here, because my mother, I've never seen a woman that is so accomplished and then come here. And that's another strife of the immigrant parent.
Yeah.
You could be accomplished and you'll come here and it goes to dust.
Yeah, like you could be in Egypt. You were like a whole
neurosurgeon.
A neurosurgeon. You aided the president of there, and you come here and you gotta own a gas station or something.
Or even
it's
worse.
Like, dude, you were a whole diplomat.
Yo, Tasha, my mother has
working at a gas
all
station?
her degrees in childhood education, which is part of the reason why I'm so put together the way I am. A whole degree in childhood education. My mother spent 10 years in college.
Yeah.
10 years. My mother has her degrees. My mother you could give my mother a child that's 0 years old, newborn. And she'll have him reading, writing, knows. Again, why do you think I'm as advanced as I was? My mom was my teacher from the moment that I was born. And even those kindergarten, pre-K, all of that, my mother was my teacher. Mom, I've never seen such an accomplished woman. And then for her to come here and for them to tell her,
oh, it doesn't. It's not worth anything.
You were accomplished
all
there,
over again.
But you weren't. And then again, how difficult for someone that doesn't know the language to come here and start all over again. Yeah. That shit is ridiculous.
Don't know language, different culture, everything.
Like, I love my mother. Honestly, in my head, she's the most amazing woman I've ever experienced. And I know you've also had the pleasure of experiencing my mother. Like, I feel like she that girl. But coming here was such a sacrifice in regards to what she was able to do and accomplish. And like, it's hard out here, y'all. Like, it's really hard to be an immigrant parent and have to do this shit for, like, you got to start from zero. And I give, like, shouts out to my dad as well. Like, for him coming here, my dad has done a very good job. He brought not only me and my mom, but my 2 older siblings and their mom here.
I think, definitely shout out to immigrant parents. But also shout out to immigrant children.
What's up,
because
y'all?
we be going through it.
Absolutely.
We be going through it with no therapy, no resources, having to figure everything out.
And sometimes not even a thank you.
Having to do everything on our own and try to figure it out. Yeah. But also, like, having to just, like, deal with the fact that people will judge us or people will disrespect us because we have immigrant parents.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine being in this country and you have immigrant parents, you go through what you're going through, and people are disrespecting you and your culture parent. And the way you may speak. Maybe you have an accent, or whatever it is, or, or disrespecting your parents.
Wait, I'm still mad that he talking about he broke 1,000 on the SATs. I'm still mad about that. I'm still thinking about
that. How are you mad about that?
No, you know why? Because I feel like everybody in this room broke 1,000 per me. So now I feel some type of way.
First of all, this is the thing about Brittany. Brittany will throw shade, but you throw shade right back at her.
No, I'm not
She gonna be like, I feel some type of way because
two things could be true at the same time. Two things could be true at the same time. I could be happy for y'all and also feel some type of way that I'm the only dumb bitch in this room.
Are you stupid or something?
Girl, we got time for our palate cleanse. That's what we got time for.
No, all right. So how do we wrap this up? Right, transparency. And what was your other point?
And my other point was...
No, I'm saying the point you had said in the beginning.
Oh, yes. Transparency. And I think my point was understanding that you can't do it all. Empathy. But you also can't put empathy.
That's
but you
what
can't
it was.
also put everything. You have to have a plan. Yeah. It can't always be like, you can't do everything and you can't expect like, oh my God, my children have to go to like Harvard. You ain't got Harvard money. Be realistic about your goals for your children. They can be successful in other ways other than having to go to the most expensive school in America.
Or have like these careers already planned out. Don't know, but not everybody want to be no doctor.
There's different jobs and careers out here. I'm telling you, people are making a lot of money just doing TikTok, okay? Like, there are just, although there's limitations, yes. But there's also a bit of creativity, innovation. Yeah. There is. Yeah. And we can find our ways through that.
Oh, another thing too is I feel like, and this is not so much immigrant parents, but I feel like just parents in general coming from a child, like I'm not a child, but like from from a child of a parent.
Yeah.
I feel like also they should really pay attention to the talents of their kid and kind of focus on that. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing my mother always told me that she regrets, she was like, I'm so sorry that I didn't invest in your singing capabilities.
Yeah.
She was like, if I had the money, you would have been in singing lessons since the moment I realized that you had a talent.
I mean, a lot of immigrant parents that come from places where it's not like, oh, my child is a great, like, they don't think acting can be a career. They don't think singing can be a career.
And also,
they're thinking realistically.
And they want longevity, right?
And
like, for example, when when I told my mother I wanted to go into psychology, my mother's like, girl, you can't go into accounting. She was like, you know, you'll always have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always need people that know numbers. I'm like, lady, me in accounting, I didn't even break 1,000 on the SAT. But although she said that, when I told her what I wanted to do, my mother did nothing but support me through it. And she continues to support me through it 110%.
Not everybody 110%. Has that, though.
So I think what we're trying to say here on Majah Point is this idea that we understand the strife of the immigrant child or the child of an immigrant parent, and we also understand the strife of the immigrant parent themselves. Yeah. And for us to work better as a unit, there has to be teamwork, there has to be empathy, and there has to be some level of transparency and realism in the expectations of both the parent and the child.
There has to be.
Because it's unhealthy for everybody.
It is.
It is unhealthy because let's say you do get the career and you get to become who your parents said that they wanted you to become. Then what suffered? The relationship between parents?
Yes, that's exactly what
suffered. The fact that I low-key don't like you, or I'm in a career that I absolutely despise.
That's it. That's the whole experience.
Appease you?
That's the whole experience. They get what they want, but you're unhappy.
But at what cost?
Now
like,
you don't have a relationship with your parents.
Child? Do you want a happy child that maybe doesn't make $500K a year, or do you want do you want an unhappy child that makes $500,000 a year, or do you want a happy child that makes maybe $100K,
honestly,
or less than that, or makes a livable existence?
I also think that it also has to do with a generational attitude. I feel like it's easy to tell maybe the newer generation of new immigrant parents that we need transparency. Yeah. There needs to be having this type of conversation. I think the older generation, they're just like, do as I say. It is what it is. I struggled.
And that's another thing we talk about too. That mindset with because I struggled, you gotta struggle too. I cannot stand that shit. Hear me, he. That shit is bullshit. I've never understood that, because as a parent, if you care so fucking much, you wouldn't want your children to go through the shit you went through.
There are parents.
Tasha, if my parent whoop my ass, I'ma wanna go whoop my kid's ass? No.
There's unfortunately there are.
We need to talk about that. We need to talk about deeper.
What we need to talk about is our palate cleanse.
Yeah.
So we have a palate cleanse. We do. And
just a refresher, a palate cleanse is kind of like a random topic that's not necessarily connected to anything, that allows us to kind of usually cleanse our palate for the next topic.
Yeah.
We're not going to have a next topic going on this episode, but
it's just still something like, this was kind of a deep topic. Yeah, so it's like kind of something fun, a little more blah, blah, blah,
exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So what's the
girl? Hold on, I gotta unlock my phone.
But child, you gotta get it, because I think it's something that you thought was okay when you were younger, but while you got older, you realize it's not okay.
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's how it is. Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to go first, or?
Yes. So what I thought was normal or okay growing up, and then I realized that it's not normal or as widespread as I thought, is how open me and my mother are with each other. Like how much we share with each other. You didn't think it was okay? I thought that basically I thought that everybody was like that with their mom.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, and getting older, I realized, and talking to other people, I realized that like it's actually not that common to be buddy with your mom and telling them when you lost your virginity and shit, you know? Like, some people don't do that. Like, a lot of people don't have that type of relationship with their mom. And which I think we all should be blessed to have that type of dynamic with our parents.
Yeah, if you do have it, yeah.
I know I'm very lucky that I have that. And honestly, all praise goes to my mom, because if she didn't build that type of relationship with me, I wouldn't be having this conversation with her. I wouldn't be having this conversation. But yeah, that's something that I thought was normal growing up, and then I realized it wasn't. Like, when I tell people, like, yeah, when I lost my virginity, I told my mother, they're like, eh? Excuse me? I'm like, yeah. And then when I told her, she asked me if I did anal, and I'm like, nah, that's a little too far. I don't do that.
Oh, you have that type of. I mean, you guys have like a mother-daughter relationship, but also a friendship. That's
my road dog.
Yeah.
But one thing I was making very clear too is that my mom, although we are very close and we have a very, very close relationship, and I do consider her one of my best friends, that best friend title doesn't override the fact that she's my mom.
Yeah.
Like, she's my mom first, second and third, and then she my homegirl.
I'm dead.
Because sometimes I be forgetting, and she had to check that shit real quick.
So that's mine. That's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is oh child.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
It's not even scary. It's just cringy and embarrassing for me, you know? So like when I was a kid, you know, I don't know, like I read books.
I don't know why I got so much anxiety right now.
It's
like,
not
what
about
is
anxiety.
it?
It's just cringy for me. Like a lot of things make me feel cringy. I used to think that like the toxic things that you see maybe guys do in relationships, I used to think that shit was okay when I was younger. Like, for example, if a guy was like super overprotective, like kind of like I don't know, like it could be like he's like you can't talk to other people.
Like other men?
Yeah.
Like you can't have male friends.
Yeah. Like you can't have male friends. You can't talk to other like guys, or they're just like, oh, that guy is looking at you. Like I used to, it's just like, ew. I used to think that like was okay.
But why?
I don't know. I thought that was like, oh, he's protecting you.
Was it like a TV thing? Was this like
I think what put it on was that like, you know, when you read books, like kind of like when you read like Twilight books, like how Edward was toxic.
Was he?
I thought he was toxic.
I thought she was toxic, but was he?
I mean, Bella was boring. That was why she was so toxic.
And stupid.
Right.
And clinically depressed through all of New Moon.
but like literally. I'm trying to think of like a character, like as like when I was younger, I used to watch like anime. I still watch anime now. But you know those characters in anime, people who watch anime, like I would have liked Muzan.
I like Muzan too though. He's
like
crazy.
I don't want to say this. Like I'm a little.
There's something sexy about the crazy killer part.
I'm a little weird I feel so weird to say this, but like,
oh, Tasha, you like bad boys?
No, not bad boys. Even a little like abusive. It's so bad. I know. I didn't want to.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to say it. When I was a kid, I thought that was like okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do love me a roughneck nigga. Yeah, I like that, but not towards me. You could be roughneck to everybody else. You gotta be nice to me.
Yeah, not abusive. Like put your hands on me, cause child.
No, you like them a little assertive. You like them. You know, you like them to make you shake and quiver a little bit.
Oh my God! Why did you sound like someone's grandma?
You know, our best friend says that I was no. Or did you say that?
You sound like your name is Hattie McDaniels.
No, who was it that told me that in another life I was Southern?
I think it was me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I might have been a Southern white woman too.
Why?
Because I be sound like y'all make fun of the way I talk all the time. Like I feel like in some life I was like a Southern white woman, like a older woman. I
feel like you sound like Miss Jane Ann Pittman. Okay. That's what you be sounding like. I be like, what is wrong with her? Is that you sound like a Southern woman or you sound straight Dominican?
Oh, what?
And I be like,
I don't know which is worse.
Damn. Damn.
I'm playing.
Dominican people are gonna come.
No, but I'm gonna clear up why. Because for a long time, and I just blame people's ignorance or lack of education, which is ignorance.
Oh, because people thought you were
They
Dominican?
will always confuse me as Dominican. I'm like, there's a plethora of other people that speak Spanish
and that are black
that are not Dominican. Yeah. So that's why it kind of irritates me. But I love my Dominicans. I love y'all.
Black people in Peru.
I love y'all. There's black people in Asia.
Exactly.
In Europe.
There's black people everywhere.
There's black people in hell.
I'm pretty sure there's black people on Mars.
Probably.
They're probably the aliens
On the moon
that
too.
are
Who
coming.
knows?
You know? But
Just like
yeah,
there's
guys.
just like there's black people in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Girl,
Did you just say there's
hear-
black people in hell?
I did. Did you hear Harriet Tubman was knocking out babies?
I would.
I mean, I believe it. I believe
Let
it, but
me
it
tell you
took
something.
me
I'm not going back
a
into
little bit.
slavery. I'm not going
I
back to
feel you.
slavery.
Not for your baby. I know that's right.
I'm right there with that rock.
No, but Tasha, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it, I was like, God damn. Like it behooved me.
I want to know, did she
understood it.
knock them out, like punched them in the face, or did she throw a rock at them?
Tasha,
Because I would have thrown a rock.
no.
Throw
It's
your baby
bad
out.
enough that she's knocking them out. Now you
Kobe!
want
Throw your baby. Kobe!
now you want her to stone the babies.
Sorry. I'm not going back
I mean,
on the
she
plantation.
did say she like abusive niggas. So is we
my
surprised?
God, shut up.
Is we surprised? No,
Shut
we
up.
is not
Don't
surprised.
talk about that.
All right, just to be clear, we don't throw rocks at babies over here at this
No,
podcast.
we don't. Unless we're Harriet Tubman.
We don't support abuse.
We
in this
don't.
podcast.
We don't support abuse, guys. I don't know what was wrong with me as a kid.
But the good thing is that she found the light and she realized that toxic behavior is not a good thing. Why am I talking to you like you three?
Girl,
Anyway. All right, y'all.
we don't know how to ride, but we don't know how to swim. So
And I didn't break 1,000 on the SAT. So with that being said, thank you. This is the end of our episode 1 of our new season. You know, it's funny because usually they say like, oh, episode 1 of season 3. I don't know what season this is. Just this is episode 1 of a new season, and we'll leave it at that.
this is actually episode 2, but it's okay.
What?
It's actually episode 2, I think.
We have
one. We have one up. Yeah.
We're okay, so
Yeah,
this is
'cause it's
episode
up.
2.
It was up.
Okay, so this is episode 2.
Watch
or
it.
episode 1.5
Yeah.
with the rebrand.
This is episode 1 with a remix.
Yes, I like the
episode
episode 1
1
remix.
remix.
I like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode.
Yes, and we'll be back.
I hope that you guys this brought up some questions and some thinking points for you guys.
Please, if you guys want to comment or say anything, please definitely hit us up.
Absolutely. We can definitely do another part and we can definitely expand on this conversation. I do believe this is a topic that will continue to be relevant as long as immigrants.
And if y'all want to bring out immigrant
relevant.
parents on the show, y'all can.
That's a
we can
fact.
talk about it.
That's a fact.
We can talk about it.
Thank you guys, and we're so happy to be back.
Thank
and
you.
yeah.
Catch y'all on the flip side.
And let me know who broke 1,000 on their SATs and who didn't, because I need to know, because I feel stupid.
And let me know who could teach me how to ride a bike. Because I don't know how to ride a bike.
I mean, I know how to ride a bike. I don't think I can teach you though.
I don't want you to teach me. How about that?
Why? Because I didn't break 1,000 on the SAT?
All right, now, it ain't that funny.
No. Why? What does that got to do with the SAT?
Because why you don't want me to teach you?
Because I feel like I'd rather a stranger.
That's fair.
I'd rather a stranger.
You know, because some people lose friendships over teaching niggas shit.
Ooh. That's a topic for another day.
Is it?
No,
There's more.
it's really not. I just want to say that.
She was gassing me? All right, well, anyway, bye guys.
Bye. This is Tasha J.
And Brittany M. And
And
we
we are
are
Majah
MajahPoint. Eow.
Bye.